Hi, I'm Pam Munoz Ryan. I've written many books for children and young adults, picture books for older readers, as well as middle grade novels like Esperanza Rising and The Dreamer and Becoming Naomi Leon, as well as my Newbery Honor book, Echo. You can find out more about my books on my website at pammunozryan.com. I've received thousands of letters from students over the years, the last 25 years actually. The book is celebrating its 25th anniversary in print, about their reactions and connections to the story. I hear from Latinos who tell me how much they've connected to the story, what the story has meant to them and their families. They tell me that sometimes that it was the first time that they read about families that were similar to their own in a story. I've received wonderful letters from adult students from adult school who are English learners who have read the book and appreciated and loved it. And I've received charming letters from some that have told me that it was the first book that they ever completed in English in their life. So that's always very gratifying for me. I think sometimes some of the letters that have really touched me the most are from non-Latinos. One especially that I remember getting from a young boy who was a middle schooler who told me that until he read Esperanza Rising, he had never known anything about those people or that time period or what it was like for those people to come to the United States from a different country. And he said it was as if I had told the story to his eyes. And I was so grateful for that letter because as important as it is for Latino children to have a story that reflects their own culture and their own family, it's as important too for other students to understand what it's like to be the other, and also to be and for me to recognize that those students are grateful to have read the story is really very rewarding. One of my favorite letters of all time, though, came from an adult woman who was a professor in New Jersey. She was originally from India. Her family came to the United States when she was a very young girl. She wrote to me and she said, Esperanza Rising was my family's story. She said, even though Esperanza came from Mexico and my family immigrated from India, it was as if I was reading about my own family's struggles. She said that her father had been let go of his job because of his political leanings in India. He brought his family to the United States, became a cab driver, put all 4 of his children through college. They were all professionals now. And when she read Esperanza Rising with her daughter, she recognized it as a book that reflected her struggle, her coming to America story. And I appreciated that letter so much. I've discovered that what so many of us have in common is the immigrant experience. That is the thread of commonality that weaves many of us together. So that's one story that I'm really grateful for. I do receive a lot of wonderful letters from teachers and educators. Thank you so much for introducing my books to your students. I'm eternally grateful to you for that. And I hope our paths cross. I would love to hear from you. And there are a lot of interviews on my website from each novel's page on my website. There are interviews about each novel and how I came to write them, if that's of interest to you or your students. Thank you. Happy reading.